People who don't want kids, why? Because I'd be a fucking horrible parent and no kid deserves that. Amen to this. I am lazy and selfish, especially with my time. I remember saying, I don't want to go to bed. I'm not tired, and hearing, I'm tired of you, in response. I feel that. My mental illnesses, time and money. Me and my siblings' childhoods were such that none of us had kids. You do the math. My trauma dies with me. The last thing I want is to subject an innocent kid to it. I can barely take care of myself some days. Besides, my husband and I are very happy with our life without introducing the stress of kids into the mix. I do like kids. I'm a pretty good babysitter. But I prefer not to be responsible for them at the end of the day. Being a woman who likes kids but doesn't want them is sometimes the hardest damn thing in the world. I just like my life how it is, and with the way the world is, who the heck can afford it? It seems very difficult for others to understand though. I get so much shit IRL, less so now after the pandemic. I am the same as you. Love kids, don't want my own. But some people take that as, I hate kids, and others take it as, you must become a mom. Best I ever heard it put is a woman said she loves to cook, but that isn't the same as opening a restaurant. I'm poor. That's why. At the end of the day, that's the truth of it. Daycare can go up to $2,000. Getting groceries for a family is a monthly endeavor. Baby formula itself is a lot, clothes, schooling, education. Yes, there are services that are government-sponsored, but they don't have quality that remains on helping a child. You must commit to that child. You don't have bad days anymore. You don't have I can't do this anymore unless you are willing to get a sitter. You must be ready for that child every day even if they're 14 by now. You can't just simply do whatever. You have to keep caring on a daily basis. And that's hard. I'm not even poor, but I'm too poor for kids. Kid is sick, gotta stay home from work with child. Kid needs winter clothes and shoes, kid has gymnastics in school, need new clothes for that. Kid falls, hole in clothes. Time to buy new ones. Kid needs a laptop for studying, pay up. A kid feels like very unexpected expense you've never thought about before. I always thought I'd have kids once I was financially stable. My husband would be an incredible father, but now we are mid-30s and still don't feel like we could afford a child, and as we get older it seems like a less feasible option. I never thought how sad that realization would make me. But it does. It would just be unfair to bring a child into a world with so much uncertainty. Right now we are just hoping to have our student loans paid off before retirement, and retirement looks less likely as our salaries remain pretty stagnant and cost of living increases. We've accepted that we will just be awesome to our nieces and nephew. It's definitely not the life I thought I'd have when I was a kid. We did everything right. Went to college, got degrees, got jobs with those degrees, and were fortunate enough to squirrel away some money to buy a little house. Which is why we have no extra money to afford a child. It's crazy to think my grandparents raised 4 kids on a single income and sent them to private school. We can barely afford our cats. It's not even being poor, it's the income being uncertain. How can you take on the ongoing cost of kids when you don't know if you'll have your industry in a few years, let alone your job?
Hi guys, if you like my video, please just subscribe, drop a like and tap the bell, so you won't miss the next video. I'm already working on a new one for you, so see you.
That's so sick. We get 1 year paid leave in Germany, maternity/paternity, or 2 year for half the payment. Daycare as you call is kindergarten for us. I know you use this term as well, but for a different age group. Kindergarten in Germany is free, age 1 and 4/5 in most states. Then comes elementary school, followed by primary school. Free. Then comes university. You pay €200 every 6 months, but you get access to public transport and other stuff. If you don't have enough money for rent and food, you can get money, and half of it needs to be paid back at the end of your university time. Otherwise, university is free. Going to the doctor with your kid is free. As a parent you get sick days for your kid. You get paid if it's sick and can't go to kindergarten. Otherwise you still have 3 days of late vacation and unlimited paid sick days for yourself. Why is the USA so hostile towards children? I get why you guys hate taxes. Nothing seems to help you get along with everyday life. You get new jets for your military, a new submarine and whatnot. Yet, most can't feed their kids. That's sickening to hear. Sorry for that. I hope it gets better. The simplest answer is that I lack the desire. No part of me wants a kid, to raise, a kid, etc., etc. This is it. I don't want a kid in the same way that I don't want to take up sailing boats as a hobby. There's nothing wrong with sailing boats, people do that, it's a fine thing to do, but I just don't have an interest in it. Good comparison actually. I don't want to take the time to go sailing, it would be hard for me to find the time, I can't afford a boat, and I think it would be hard for me to invest the time or money to be good at it. It's pretty straightforward. I have never been interested in getting/being pregnant or raising kids. I know a woman who has 8 children through 4 pregnancies, 1 set of twins, then a single, then twins, then triplets. After the triplets, she went on to carry 6 more babies for other women before she became too old to safely do it. She really enjoyed being pregnant, so she did it as often as she could. Personally, as a male, being pregnant does not look like a fun time. Edit, we are in Australia. Being a surrogate is voluntary and unpaid. It's illegal to pay someone to be a surrogate, other than medical costs. So this woman did it for free because she wanted to help others have a baby and because she enjoyed being pregnant. Not wired that way, I guess. Love my independence too much. Same, most days, especially in colder months, I finish work and I go straight upstairs and run myself a hot bath and sit in it watching craft videos for 90 minutes before sticking my dressing gown on, eating whatever I want for dinner while either crafting or watching something that may or may not have a lot of swearing in, with a cat on my lap. Then I go to bed early and browse Instagram in peace, sleep until it's time to work, hang out with great people doing a job I love and then do it all again. And if I need to go out, I can choose from 3 ridiculously fun cars and drive them in a ridiculously fun way to whenever I'm going, usually a nice garden center and for a coffee. All these things. This is why. It's the freedom. I'm also single and don't plan on changing that. I want to golf. I golf. I want to spend 4 hours on a video game. I do that. I want to take a weekend trip. I do that. I only get one life and while it might be selfish, I want to live it doing what I want. Edit, I also a guy, so for a woman I just can't even imagine. Because never in my life kids been something I hoped or wished for. Even as a child when we played family I felt so weird playing a mother. I not even was into baby dolls. OT just never felt right for me to have a child. I'm the same. I've never had any maternal instinct. Additionally, all my friends with kids spend their weekends standing in freezing cold fields watching them play football. I lie in bed scrolling and drinking coffee then go do fun things like shopping or hitting the bars. I have 0 regrets about my child-free choice. After a stressful day, I can't imagine anything worse than coming home to screaming, crying and completely dependent beings. Exactly. I don't want to come back from a hard day of work to another hard day of work. Maybe because I can't even afford to rent a studio apartment, even though I work full-time? Could that be it? It's a gamble. Despite doing everything right, your life could be taken over by behavioral issues, insane medical bills, and/or an economy that will grind you to dust to squeeze out your last drop of blood and leave you nothing for you and yours. People talk all the time about parenting on social media and we get to see that it's not all sunshine and rainbows like most media would have us believe. There's no guarantee of an amazing experience that will complete your life. You fucked, it took root, and you now have a tiny human you are responsible for, and sometimes that's all it is. I'm selfish. The sound of a child crying makes me incredibly angry. I have 0 desire to be responsible for a child. It sends me into a rage. LMAO, I would not be a good mom. I simply just never wanted one. I knew when I was 8 years old. Luckily my husband didn't want kids either, so that was one of many reasons that I married him, and then just recently we found out that he was incapable of getting me pregnant without medical intervention, and now we really don't have to worry about ever having a kid. Multiple reasons, but the biggest one is I don't want the responsibility. Raising a human is an extremely big responsibility and requires a ton of sacrifice, assuming you want to be an actual great parent. I just don't want that responsibility, especially because I know I wouldn't half-ass it. I would be 100% committed and that thought alone is exhausting.